What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Tip Trillions channel, where I help you discover the path, your path to a life that just gets better and better. We call it the Better and Better Life Path, where you can continue your pursuit of happiness, health, and wealth. Okay, so let's talk about this. Over the last couple weeks here, we've been talking about some different things and gotten started here with my YouTube channel. And thank you guys. As a matter of fact, make sure you like and subscribe. I think that's like a YouTube prerequisite. You have to say that on every video, or YouTube doesn't like you. So please like and subscribe and share the video. If you find it useful, share the video. So, what am I doing here? What are we talking about? Why am I qualified to talk to you about any of this stuff? So I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I haven't worked a job in 20 years. I've done some things in between. I've done what I needed to do as a professional, as a business person, but I haven't punched anybody's clock or reported to anybody since 2003, February of 2003. So that's a long time. It's 20 years, just over the 20-year anniversary of that. So insert applause there, and let's talk about why I'm qualified to talk to you about some other things. I was presented with a huge challenge in life, having a spouse that, my wife, that was diagnosed with breast cancer while she was pregnant with our little girl, who's now 5 years old. And my wife passed away in 2018, April of 2018, so almost a 5-year anniversary to that, after being married for over 15 years. So I'm rather qualified to talk to you a little bit about entrepreneurship and what it takes to get a business started, what it takes to make a business flourish, what it takes to just make things work in your favor, how to have these communication gaps filled, how to talk to people. All of the research that I've done, I've been so blessed, I'm very fortunate, I'm very grateful. I'm not really a religious person, but I'm extremely aware that things don't have to go as well as they do. And sometimes things are inexplicable. I heard somebody that I look up today say, that I look up to today, he said, sometimes for whatever reason, really bad things happen to really good people. And we'll never understand it, but it's just part of the way things go here. Thirdly, to talk about health. Why am I qualified to talk about health? Well, I'm somebody that has tried the ins and outs of being in the gym. I've been in the gym for a long, long time. You guys that know me know that I've gone back and forth to being in the gym for a couple of years nonstop, like an insane person, doing the training, training others, working very closely with specific folks that know what the heck they're doing. And over a period of time, these are the three things that I focus on. And these three things, happiness, health, and wealth, kind of are all locked into my experiences. And I'm very grateful to be able to talk to you and be able to express to you and teach you the things that I know, teach you a hack, as my kids would say, teach you the cheat code to a shortcut. How do we make this something that we can quantify? What does quantify mean? Well, how much of this is something that we can utilize to get you from A to B as quickly as possible? Another one of my really good friends says all the time, he says, and who knows, I mean, shoot me a DM if this is wrong, or message me, or whatever. But the shortest distance between 2 points is not a straight line. It's the time that it takes you to get there. So that kind of sticks out with me sometimes, and I think about that, because if you can get to where you're trying to go in a shorter period of time, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is sharing, paying it forward, and helping you. I've had so many people that have taken time with me, so many people that have explained things to me, so many people that have been patient with me, and I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to give back. So I want to explain to you how it is that we acquired this record label, and we're able to put our deal together. I'm very grateful with that, our distribution deal, which is colossal. How it is that we were able to create our Better and Better Music Management Group, what this management company does for our artists, and starting from the beginning with this, create our publishing company. Very grateful for that. We have our apparel and merchandising company, and a whole bunch of stuff in between. We've created the Restaurant Services Group, so we're now partnered in with a restaurant, and it's phenomenal here in the West Phoenix area. So, and there's more to come. We're continuously creating opportunities, and now this whole branding thing that comes along with doing, I guess, things that are admirable, and doing things that create income and create wealth. you want to share it. I want to share it. So one of the things that's come up lately is independent of, why are you qualified to talk about this? And, yeah, you've had some experiences, but we've all had experiences. And yeah, we have. And my circumstances are probably different than anybody that you could imagine. But, I'll tell that story one day. This isn't necessarily the day for it. Today, I want to talk a little bit, if you will, allow me to kind of express how I feel about where the beginning is. And I've said time and time again, when I give these talks and I give these lectures and I'm working with my young artists and I'm working with business partners and just different people. And I say this quite often, so many people want to just get going down the road and then work backwards. And I do believe to a certain extent that that's kind of what you're supposed to do, but not really. And here's what I mean by that. Don't take a long time to decide to get your business started. I don't care if you have 5 or 6 different business ideas. You need an LLC. Your LLC does not have to be exactly what your business is going to be. And that's just an example. That's not what this conversation is about. That's not what we're discussing here today. But I do want you to understand, don't let the small things be something that prevents you from getting started. So you can, in that case, go ahead and pick your ABC LLC. That's fine, get that started. And then later on, if you decide, you know what, we're not gonna go with the company that does painting. I'm more interested in doing the company that does acrylic, or I'm more interested in going with a completely different company. We're gonna do web design. Well, I mean, isn't that kind of what Google has? Then Google, they have their, isn't that literally what it is? ABC company, and then they're doing business as, or they have a subsidiary that's Google, right? So, and then they buy other businesses, they have other relationships, and they have other partnerships. And they didn't say, well, we'll take some time to figure out what we're going to call this thing. And when we decide on a color, that's just not the way it works. That's not what you do getting a business started. Jump in. Don't put your toe in the water. Jump in the water. Get fully immersed into business. Create your thinking so that it is working in conjunction with what your actions are each day. And as those actions start to translate into you creating wealth for yourself, then you're able to think about one thing. I am doing something that's helping others. I'm doing something that is sharing. I'm doing something that's contributing to what my overall objective is, which is growth. And once you're doing that, okay, now we're on that path that we talk about. What is the path that's the most important thing to us? This path is the better and better life. This path on the constant pursuit of the better and better life. So let me take 3 steps backwards here in this whole reverse engineering thought process and explain to you why that part is the exception. Starting at the beginning is the most important thing, I believe, right? Except what I just said, starting at the beginning. Now, this is what I mean about starting at the beginning. What are you doing? Who are you? What are your habits every day? And that brings me to where I think the very first step, the most important step, is that self-reflection and identifying what it is that you need to work on. And there's nothing better than this one. Atomic Habits, James Clear. I've been through so many different books, and I always feel like, well, what do I have this person, if I'm mentoring somebody, or if I'm helping somebody out with their business, if I'm doing some sort of consulting, what do I have this person start with? What is it? What is the starting point? And excuse me, the starting point to me is, like I said, that self-reflection that allows you to take a deep dive into you. Think about that. What better way than to be able to identify these little things that you can do that are going to help you be better every day, that are going to help you, very cliche for me to say, be able to help you be a better you. Corny as it sounds, this is important. This is valuable. This is going to be, there's one of my books, is one of my favorites, The Art of the Start. This is one of those things that it's going to allow you to start the proper way. Because if you're constantly making these minute, little teeny tiny changes to who you are and how you're going about whatever it is that you're doing, then you will start to see some improvement. I love it. One of the first, I love this book, love this book. One of the very first little anecdotes, the first little stories that Clear talks about in this book is the British national cycle team. And they were horrible. They were so bad that the cycle companies, the companies that manufacture these bikes, didn't even want the cycle team to ride their bikes in the Olympics or the he was talking about the Tour de France. They didn't want these companies did not that's how bad they were. They did not want them to ride their bikes because they never won anything. It had been over 110 years. I'm pretty sure Clear said over 110 years since they had won anything before they brought in a new coach. And this new coach was people didn't know what to think of him at first. They really didn't know what to think of him because he didn't come in, this must go and slashing prices. And that's not what he did. It's slashing prices. You know what I mean? He didn't come in and institute all these ridiculous changes that were and expect huge results overnight. He had these guys do little things, a men's team. He had these guys do little teeny tiny things. Let's wear these type of shorts when we ride. Just a small. He had this belief system, and James Clear talks about it quite a bit, and just 1% changes. In the course of a year, Clear explains, in the course of a year, you look at percentages, right? And then you look at how that translates, 1%. If you improve 1% per day, 365 days, then we'll round up, that is a 37 times multiple of where you were. That's an astronomical return. Think if you made 37 times on your money this year, right? Think about that. So this is great. Let's think about this. Let's go through again from the beginning. So you want to start a business, or you want to get healthy, or you're looking at your happiness, you're looking at all these things, and that's completely backwards, right? Because I always say you have to be happy first, and that can help create your health, and that can help create your wealth. But for the purposes of this, let's do it in order. What if you were to institute 1% changes daily in your personality? Think about this. The atom is so tiny. This the tiniest thing, I think, as far as I know, unless some new science has countered this. But atom, let's just say the atom is one of the smallest possible things in the universe. So small. But enough of them fused together, or enough of them combined, or enough of them all culminating on a single objective can create an explosion that's so big, right? That explosion, it was literally the atom bomb. Think about that. Wow, just blows, no pun intended, blows my mind, right? So what if we applied 1% changes to our health, right? Everybody says, I'm going to cold turkey, I'm going to stop doing this and stop doing. No, that's not what Clear said about the national team over in England, the British national team. That's not what they did. And by the way, you'll have to read the book, but it's a great story. It has a great ending. The story has a great ending because they went on to begin winning the Tour de France just from this 1% change daily, these small little changes that affected them at such a rate that they were able to capitalize at the highest level and win the Tour de France and place for gold in the Olympics and all these different victories just based on these small changes. Okay, so think about the health aspect of it. What if you didn't just say, cold turkey, I'm never eating another cookie, I'm never having another donut, I'm not eating anything fried, I'm not, this is that, man, salads for the rest of my life. Okay, that's a great objective, it's a great goal, I think. I don't even know if that's healthy. That shock to your body, you need stuff other than just, rabbit food, right? You need other things. We need to balance out. The other day we talked about the Harvard diet, and they gave an idea of some different types of proteins, and we can get those proteins from beans or from fish, or, and they gave several examples. So my point is, it might not even make sense to just do something so haphazard and so dramatic that we know we can't stick to, right? He gives a lot of examples, Clear does, in the Atomic Habits section, where it's kind of like implemented. He's got a workbook and a lot of different stuff. I never do the workbook stuff. I just don't. I never do the workbook stuff. And I hate that they call this genre self-help. I hate that they call it that, but that's what they call it. So great. I'm not offended. I just wish that we need to come up with a better name for the genre of books. But and so many of these books that I thoroughly enjoy, and it makes up probably 95% of my library. It's about improving on you. And again, Clear explains when he's talking about one health aspect, he talks about quitting smoking. And he talks about, the redundancy of doing something over and over, just as doing good things can implement good habits and over time improve and create this atomic favorable result. Doing something bad, doing something that's not healthy, doing something that creates a harmful effect on your body day in and day out, sometimes multiple times a day, like smoking. I know, I don't want to give you a hard time. That's not why you came to the channel. But even the vaping thing, right? We create this dependency, we create this chemical addiction, we create this psychological addiction, we create this. I don't know how good it is for you, but I know a lot of people have said to me recently, especially artists, hey, I don't know if this is good for my voice. I'm going to quit. Oh, and the next week I see them and they've got the cartridge or whatever, the extra part of it to go along with it. And I'm like, geez, it looks like you're doing more than you were doing, So we can get into something habitually that creates almost an impossibility for us to cease, for us to stop doing it. And it sounds so simple. I'm just going to stop. Well, some people can do that. I mean, I'm fortunate. I've been able to just stop doing things in the past, just stop cold turkey, quit. But also sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's extremely difficult. And it's not difficult because we're saying it's difficult. It's difficult because it's scientific. If there's an addiction there, chemically, we know that people get addicted to drugs. And when they stop, we've heard that term dope sick, where their bodies are going through this withdrawal. So again, sometimes it's just implementing a strategy to go along with these small and very minute changes. The word small just never works. It's a small, tiny, or small, minute. And I know it's overuse of trying to make the point, but it's just, again, the thought process of Adam. It can just be something that's so tiny that it's almost not detectable. For example, let's say you're smoking 10 cigarettes a day. Right. And a lot of people, I don't know, people get mad at me when I talk about smoking. I don't know why. It's such a personal thing, I guess. But, what if you cut that to 9? And then the next week you cut that to 8? And then the next week you cut that to 7? What if when you were about to grab a cigarette or smoke or, grab one of your heaters or whatever cool word you use for these cancer sticks, and instead of that, I don't know, chewed on a piece of ice or grabbed a toothpick or a straw or something else to replace, not the vape, okay, but something else to replace that. Again, I'm just trying to get you to think. I hope that the majority of the people aren't smokers that are even watching this, but the idea is that if you can understand that doing something small can result in this huge result, then that's what we want. That's what this is all about. So take that back. Now take that all the way back to the beginning, and let's say that this wasn't about health. Let's just say that this is about creating wealth for yourself. Not even about a business. This is about creating wealth for yourself. And you said, hey, you know what? This year, I made $100,000 last year, just for example, right? I made $100,000 last year. This is Bob. Bob made $100,000 last year. And Bob says, I didn't have any money. And then I got my tax return and I went out, I went shopping, I went all this, and then I was broke and all my credit cards were actually maxed at that point. Well, what tiny changes, and these are obvious changes, what tiny changes could Bob employ into his life experience, right? Maybe it's I'm going to do the grocery shopping once a week. Look how it adds up when we go eat. Now you're going out to eat. Maybe you can get away with $15. I don't know. I mean, with 3 kids, or if I'm with friends or with my girlfriend, it can probably be really quickly with 4, 5 people. You can probably be at $60, $70. Think about that. 2 people, you're at $35, $40. You can still do grocery shopping for that many people for $200 a week. So allowing yourself to understand that I'm willing to substitute, in this case, a little bit of time. What can we do? We can meal prep. A lot of people are into doing that now. I'm going to make my food for Monday through Friday. I'm going to take my lunch with me. I'm going to, package it, and I get my little, my little Tupperware seal deals. But all of these are just small, tiny things that you can do, and then understand, what is it that you're really trying to do? Is it going out with coworkers? Do you like the atmosphere, or are you really just lazy? And being lazy is probably not going to lead to you creating wealth for yourself. Think about that. Oh, I like that one. Laziness is not going to lead to you creating wealth. Wow. So back to the idea. So what about the relationship? The relationship aspect of this, that's one of the big questions. I don't know what it is. Well, I kind of do know, but Pete, you guys love to ask me about that. You love to ask me about the relationship stuff. Okay, well, I've said this before. If you know me, I've said it to you. This boils down to you looking at yourself. It's the person in the mirror. It's not him or it's not her. It's you. You make your decision that you're going to be with this person. What tiny changes can you make? What can you make? What can you change as an individual? Maybe you're cutting them off every time they're talking. Maybe you don't finish and allow them to finish their sentence, or you don't finish what you start, or something that is maybe very easy for you to work on gradually, but might be extremely challenging to just stop and quit doing that all in one. Because what if it's a part of your personality? What if it's something that you've practiced? It's a bad habit that you have just instilled in yourself, and you've just kind of just made this part of who you are for all this, I don't know, for the last X amount of years. Well, can you stop that this weekend? I don't know. But it might not even be noticeable if he was talking or she was talking this weekend. And you know what? She would notice, he would notice, if you just let them finish their sentence. So happy, healthy, wealthy thinking and this pursuit for the better and better life, this starts with you. Whether it's business, whether it's your fitness, your health and fitness, whether it's your relationships, whatever this is that has landed you here in this channel to sit here and listen to my voice, this is bigger. This is a whole lot bigger than coming up with some business plan and thinking that that's going to be the end all be all. Those are just words. Stephen Covey says at several different times that don't let your words be louder than your actions. And I know that that's again another cliche, but I just love the way that Covey puts it in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's that word again, 7 habits. So these folks that have created this knowledge for us, I tell my kids all the time, here's $1 billion for you. And it's just my library. And we're going to go over all these books, and you'll hear me reference them from time to time. I love to reference Dr. Wayne Dyer in Erroneous Zones. I love to reference James Clear with Atomic Habits, and Stephen Covey, just the genius. For that book to be as old as it is, there's a couple other ones, Dale Carnegie and How to Win Friends and Influence People. And don't get me wrong, some of the stuff is dated. We don't call people by specific names anymore. Get canceled for doing that or saying that. But the concept is there. And that's what's important for us to understand, that this pursuit to living a life that just continues to get better and better, for our pursuit to the better and better life, okay? And for being happy, being healthy, being wealthy, and applying that, I should say, to our business world, what we're doing as business people. I'm going to talk to you about that. You'll have an entire channel, or I guess a playlist associated with this channel that'll be all about the business stuff. And then we'll talk all about the relationship stuff. And I'm not, I don't have any certification to give you business advice. I'll give better advice than some of them, though. And I don't have any certification to give you relationship advice, but I don't need certification for that. I lived it. I live it now. I don't need certification to talk to you about what my opinions are in regards, because that was a very serious DM, and I appreciate that. But I'm not going to stop doing what it is that I came here to do, which is sharing with you how to travel this path this journey that you're on, if you're watching this video, this journey that you're on to the pursuit of the better and better life. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember that we have to love each other, take care of each other. We have to maintain this happy, healthy, wealthy mentality, because that helps us become better as individuals. And when we become better as individuals, we know for a fact that we can just travel along that path to the better and better life. And you can probably take somebody with you. So share the video. Okay? Thank you. Peace.